Another line of showers and thunderstorms working across the region. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey tracking the boomers straight ahead.
Severe storms knocked down trees and power lines and even damaged some homes around the Bluegrass today. Hear from some of the people cleaning up a mess tonight.
The reigning Super Bowl MVP will begin next season on the sidelines, while the NFL is suspending him.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. WKYT News starts now with First Alert Weather.
The Bluegrass, the weather has been rough today. A round of storms moving through this afternoon, and we've been tracking another round tonight.
A First Alert Severe Weather Day continues. We begin our team coverage tonight with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Amber. Hi, Sam. That First Alert Severe Weather Day is now in the process of winding down. That is certainly good news. This secondary line of showers and storms that is out there not packing much of a punch outside of some locally heavy downpours. But boy, the storms before that a little earlier in the day, putting down all kinds of wind damage into parts of especially central Kentucky. Every icon you see here had some sort of wind damage. We'll highlight a few of the harder hit areas into downtown Richmond. Several reports of some trees that were down, even a few on cars. Into parts of the Bluegrass region, not so much into Lexington, but several areas around us, and especially hard hit areas from Woodford County into parts of Scott County around Stamping Ground. A lot of wind damage reports, a lot of wind damage coming from the Midway area as well. And into Winchester, one of those storms had a 64-mile-per-hour wind gust that was associated with that, causing some trees to be knocked down. Here's live First Alert Defender now, and what we're showing you on Defender, typical run-of-the-mill showers, maybe, and I mean maybe, a run-of-the-mill type of thunderstorm out there. Nothing that is severe expected out of this. Some heavier downpours around Mount Sterling. Stronger little shower east of Berea, down into Mount Vernon, Rockcastle County, but that's about all she wrote into parts of southern Kentucky. We go into western sections of the region. Guys, we're beginning to see things calming down. That's a sign of things to come. And if you like better weather that is more typical of this time of year instead of the summertime stuff we've had for the past several days, you're going to like the forecast that I will share with you coming up here in just a matter of minutes.
Chris, thank you. Some people in Madison County had quite a mess to clean up tonight after a round of storms moved through.
This eyewitness video from Tina shows a storm in the Kirksville community this afternoon. Strong winds knocking down trees and even damaging some homes and a barn. Monique Blair continues our First Alert weather team coverage.
There goes the tree! The storm didn't last long this afternoon in Madison County, but what did come through,
we've got trees down all over the place,
left quite a bit of damage.
When I got down here, you couldn't see the road.
In Kirksville, farm owner J.C. Benton spent hours cleaning up the trees that covered Hagen Mill Road. The storm also ripped the roof off this barn on Curtis Pike, and debris was left scattering many roadways and yards.
I had a wagon up here on top of the hill just a wagon that you pull behind the tractor, and it moved it probably 100 feet, rolled it on its own.
A lot of the damage we're seeing out here in Madison County is much like what you see behind me. Trees just completely split in half, but it's not only roads they're covering, they also hit a couple houses.
There was a great big gust of wind, really came through dramatically.
A tree hit this house in Richmond. Luckily, no one was home when it hit, but a nearby neighbor watched it all unfold.
And this tree cracked and broke and crashed into the house extremely fast and smashed into that house right there.
And back in Kirksville, a tree also landed on this home.
It was bad.
Although it left significant damage, we are told there were no reported injuries as a result of the storm this afternoon. In Madison County, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Now, falling trees also caused problems in other places in central Kentucky.
Yeah, they damaged some homes, blocked roads, and even knocked out electricity to some people in both Scott and Woodford counties. This is some surveillance video of the storm as it moved through Stamping Ground. Jordan Valines talked to some people cleaning up there.
As Deb Reddy turned onto her tree-lined street Monday afternoon,
I saw their flashing lights and I just had this god-awful feeling, and I thought, oh no.
her instincts helped paint a picture
It's my house, it's my tree.
of the scene that lay ahead.
I'm trying not to cry because I lost my big tree, but I just thank God that nobody was out there driving by or walking underneath of it.
Strong winds snapped the tree in her front yard, ripping down power lines with it as it fell down onto the road, where just on the other side sat more damage.
The rain was so hard, that's what I heard first. And then I heard crack, boom, bam, glass break, and just that quick.
The tree in Glenn Bowling's front yard came crashing through his window.
It shot glass all the way across the room.
About 20 miles away here in Stamping Ground, even more storm damage was reported. Utility crews stayed on for several hours working to restore power, and several homes suffered damage.
We know of 3 homes that had the electric meters ripped right off the wall, several homes that have lost shingles off of roofs, and 2 barns that were damaged.
Damage stretching across county lines and leaving many to wonder what else this stormy spring has in store for us. In Woodford and Scott counties, Jordan Valines, WKYT.
And the National Weather Service plans to survey the damage around Stamping Ground tomorrow morning. Some of you shared your eyewitness pictures of the storms. Justin took this picture of some storm damage in Frankfort this afternoon. As you can see, a tree snapped in half there. And in Manchester, Sarah took a picture during another storm. You can see hail falling along with heavy rain. We'd love to see your eyewitness pictures as well. Just look for the eyewitness section at WKYT.com or share your pictures to our Facebook page.
Tonight, we're tracking the investigation into a deadly motorcycle crash in Woodford County. The crash happened about 8 tonight on Old Frankfort Pike near Pisgah Pike. Investigators say the person riding the motorcycle somehow lost control and crashed. The coroner pronounced that person dead at the scene. The victim's name has not been released so far tonight. Investigators think that speed played a role in the crash. They say the road was dry at the time. New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady will have to sit out 4 games next season. The NFL has suspended him as punishment for the deflated football scandal during the AFC Championship game. As Danielle Nottingham tells us, the NFL also hit the Patriots with a $1 million fine.
New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady will sit out the first 4 games of the 2015 season, suspended without pay for his role in the Deflategate scandal. Last week, an independent investigation found that Brady likely knew the Patriots deliberately violated NFL rules by using underinflated footballs during January's AFC Championship game. In a letter to Brady, NFL executive Troy Vincent told the 4-time Super Bowl champion, the report established that there is substantial and credible evidence to conclude you were at least generally aware of the actions of the Patriots employees involved in the deflation of the footballs. Brady's agent says he will appeal the punishment, saying, quote, "I am very confident the Wells report will be exposed as an incredibly frail exercise in fact-finding and logic."
The verdict is in to a certain degree, but this process is far from over. And if you paid any attention to the NFL in recent years, things tend to get very interesting through the appeals process.
The report also named 2 Patriots team officials, locker room attendant Jim McNally and equipment assistant John Jastrzemski. The Patriots have already suspended them without pay, and they cannot be reinstated without permission from Troy Vincent. The Patriots were also fined $1 million and will forfeit 2 draft picks. The defending Super Bowl champs are scheduled to open the season, now without their star quarterback, on September 10th. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Patriots owner Robert Kraft said while it was his intention to accept any discipline from the NFL, he feels it exceeded any reasonable expectation.
Tonight, the 4 Republicans running for Kentucky governor gathered for another debate. KET hosted the debate as part of Kentucky Tonight. Abuse allegations against James Comer made by a college girlfriend, Marilyn Thomas, came up during the debate. Comer again denied the allegations. Both he and Matt Bevin have blamed Hal Heiner's campaign for pushing the story, a claim Heiner denies.
And it's unfortunate that something like this would come out 2 weeks before the primary. I've been in politics for 15 years. We've never heard anything like this until the day that I filed for governor.
We've had no involvement whatsoever in the fact that this young lady felt the need to come forward. We've had 0 involvement. Never met her, never talked with her.
Up until about a month ago, we were having good civil discourse. And there was one campaign, and everybody knows which campaign it was, that decided to soil the bed. And it's a shame.
I've made it plain that I don't deal in yesterdays. I address tomorrow's, Kentucky's problems of tomorrow and the solutions. And that's where I'm going to stay.
The primary election is 1 week from tomorrow.
The search has ended tonight for an inmate police say escaped from the Madison County Detention Center, where police say they found her in 9 minutes.
But first, we look through all the data dating back decades. So which part of Kentucky are you most likely to see a tornado?
No tornado threat overnight. Showers, thunderstorms are winding down as we speak. Just ahead, we'll walk you into a cooler weather period taking shape with the updated hour-by-hour forecast after the break.
We are learning more tonight about a man accused of slashing the face of a Lexington Kroger employee.
Michael Buckner appeared in court today to answer to assault, robbery, and evidence tampering charges. Lexington police say that on Saturday morning, Buckner tried leaving the Bryan Station Road Kroger with a cart filled with groceries. But when a store employee asked him for a receipt, police say Buckner cut her face with a knife. According to court documents, in the last 8 years, Lexington police have charged him with drug possession, theft, shoplifting, among other things.
New tonight, a theft suspect police say escaped from the Madison County Detention Center is back in custody. The Madison County jailer tells us sheriff's deputies found 27-year-old Alexandria Smith at a Richmond motel around 8 tonight. She's now facing a felony escape charge. Investigators say this afternoon Smith was using one of the jail's phones when a jail employee left the room, but the door of that room didn't close all the way. Investigators say Smith left the room, then made it outside through an open garage door. We're learning more about a man police say broke into a Pulaski County home, then was arrested after a chase. Police have charged 60-year-old Monty Van Blaircombe of Nicholasville with burglary and criminal mischief. They say he broke into a home on Black Ridge Road last Thursday. The police say relatives of the victim saw what happened and fired shots at the suspect before chasing after him. Police say the suspect crashed in Russell County. The victim's relatives held him there at gunpoint until police arrived.
More than 1,000 people gathered in Pikeville today to discuss ways to grow the economy in eastern Kentucky. The Shaping Our Appalachian Region, or SOAR, Strategy Summit brought in people from around the country. It featured workshops and panel discussions. One of the major topics was finding ways to help laid-off coal miners find new jobs. But the U.S. Labor Secretary says he's seen progress in eastern Kentucky.
We will succeed. We will retool. We are retooling. We're building a diversified economy where everyone has an opportunity to succeed, and I am confident that we will continue to be there with you.
This was the second year for the SOAR Strategy Summit.